Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with an educational video today on how I trade, and not really how I trade as far as what my trading looks like and how I balance work and life and family and everything else together. This video is going to go through kind of my process to some extent, a big overview, but also what my week looks like and how I approach trading. Before we get started, this is what works for me. This is what my system has evolved into, and probably will change again as I move forward. This is not any kind of trading advice, just take this as an educational video. All right. So first, let's talk about me and who I am, because to understand how I trade, you have to understand what makes me up. I'm married. I have two teenage daughters. I work full time, which is about 45 hours a week for me. I train jujitsu. I'll show you a pic real quick. That's me getting my blue belt. Um, and what else? And I trade stocks, right? Completely self-taught. I never went through any kind of schooling. I was always in the sciences in college and didn't take too much except for microeconomics on that side of the thing. But there's a lot of resources out there on blogs and Twitter and everything else and YouTube. Um, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, completely self-taught. And basically, I'm the guy next door. I'm just an average, average Joe, just that wanted to trade stocks, and the goal is for them to provide, um, you know, hopefully freedom in the chance of increasing time, right? So maybe one day to work less out of the house, maybe, and use my profits from stock trading to supplement income, so I could work a little bit less out of the house and have more freedom to do the things that I do want to do more often, like train jujitsu. All right, so again, this is going to be kind of conversational. It's an educational video, so I'm just going to kind of go through different things I wrote down. I have some notes I wrote down and as a guideline, but as I see them, I'm just going to talk about what I think. Okay. So first of all, the challenges that I had, and I think the biggest one is going to be time. I'll be, and I'm sorry, one more thing before we get started. Today is January 8th, 2021, and I'm going to use the cues. The market just opened, so that's my backdrop. So it's about 9:40 right now in the morning on January 8th, 2021, and that's going to be my backdrop with my picture in the corner. All right, so time is the biggest challenge that I think people run into when they start to trade, and because you're trying to manage, you know, your marriage and family, your children if you have them, your job, which is extremely important because it pays the bills, and without that, we couldn't trade. We don't have any money to trade stocks. And your extracurriculars, for me, is jujitsu. For somebody else, it could be scuba diving, whatever. And so getting all those balls, all those things to balance out, and give them each the proper time that they deserve is a huge challenge. So you got to create. I had to create a system that took into account all those pieces and made them work in harmony. Um, and this is what works for me. And so we're going to go through what my week looks like as far as how I approach the markets and what I do in each day of the week. So let's just get started. Saturday morning, I do my state of the market video. It takes me roughly around 60 minutes or so. Um, and so the whole purpose of my state of the market video is to look at the health and the trend of the overall market. So at the end of usually it's between 10 and 15 minutes. At the end of that, I should be able to say, okay, we are in a very bullish market, very bearish market, maybe a questionable market, but that's the whole goal. Is basically one sentence. This is the type of market we are in, and it tells me how bullish I should be or not be, right? And the standard market goes over things like trends and breadth and credit and volatility, sentiment, and things of that nature. Again, and that's all kind of taken into account, and I come up with my result. And that's what I do in the morning. Again, it runs about 60 minutes or so. Um, let's do this. I'm going to add up the time. I didn't do this ahead of time, so 60 plus. All right. And then Saturday evening, I allow myself some time to look at Twitter. Some people will have questions or respond to my videos. I look at what other people are posting because there's a lot to learn from that on Twitter also. And that usually takes me anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes or so. So I'll add that in. And then that's usually it for the night. Then I'll spend time with my family after that. And I usually do that roughly between dinner and watching the movie at the end of the night. Sunday morning, I get up in the morning and I'll usually do my stocks to watch video. That usually takes me about 60 minutes to produce. I also look over some stuff in Twitter and see things that I may have missed or came up since I looked at it last. And so the stocks to watch video though is a quick video, right? So I'm not really looking for this in-depth analysis on any company, but basically I go ahead and go over my watch list, see what looks like it's in a reasonably good risk reward ratio, and then I go ahead and record the video, but I explain like I could do 30 stocks in, 15 minutes. So it's a quick hit on the stock because if I can't explain what I like in the chart in 30 seconds or less, then I'm trying too hard. And I think um, not overthinking things is extremely, extremely important. So that's my stocks to watch video. Again, it's a quick, if somebody likes an idea, they need to make it their own anyway, right? They shouldn't just take my word on it, just what I see, you know. So that's what I do on Sunday morning, quick stocks to watch. And yeah, roughly 60 minutes or so, could be up to 90, but, it depends on how much feedback I get on Twitter and so on and so forth. All right, so then Sunday evening, usually what I like to do is I'll post my favorite ideas that usually get generated from stocks to watch, and this roughly 90 minutes. I also usually that generates a lot more comments, and so I'll respond to that also. Um, I look at also other things that people have posted. And there's a lot of great videos and content and education ideas that lots of people post on Twitter, especially on the weekends. So I'm consuming that along with everybody else. And there's some great ones out there. I always enjoy Richard Moglen and if Ben from Pattern Profits posts a video, he's real good. And Mike Santolo's videos are great. Brian from um, Alpha Trends is amazing. So lots of great. I'm leaving a ton of people out, but anything that Joe Fami writes, right? So anyway, I'm consuming all that information too, and trying to get my mind right and learning. Um, Also on Sunday night, I like to make my trading plan. So do a review of all my positions, and I will go ahead and see if any of them are in trouble or if they're not in trouble, if they're trending nicely, and I'll make a weekly plan. If there's money in my account that is not already tied up, I'll usually use some of the setups for my stocks to watch and consider entering, and then I'll go ahead and make that plan also at this time. So that's my Sunday evening. Again, it takes me, we'll call it 90 minutes or so for that one. And that's all I really do. Now, my weekdays tend to be the same Monday through Friday. So we're just gonna go over what a weekday morning and weekday evening kind of looks like. So we wake up around 5:30 or so in my house. And and so while my wife is getting ready and stuff, I'll usually go ahead and jump on the computer and, again, I'll go ahead and look at things I miss on Twitter, respond to comments. Um, and then I like to review the indexes at that point too, and see what is happening, the pre market, just to see where the initial, thrust looks like it may be going. I like to go over my trading plan one more time. A lot of times I also post, you know, my thoughts on the indexes in the morning in general, and usually one or two charts that really are standing out to me, if any are, right? If they're not, you can't force it. But if there's some, so that's what I do in the morning, right? So index, yeah, and when I say the index, it's almost always going to be the cues, right? The cues are really the one that I watch because I like growth stocks. And um and so, like, yeah, like, so this one, like, we've had a lot of volatility this week, right? But as I pointed out on my morning charts, is that, the 23-day EMA really has never been violated on a closing basis. And so I remained, bullish and really fully invested the entire time. And so far, it's paid out. We'll see if it continues to, but I'm watching right now the 23 because it seems to be what the trend is holding. Anyway, that's what I do in the morning. Again, go over my trading plan one more time, and that's about it, right? Takes me roughly 30 minutes or so. Um, then some days I work, some days I don't work, depending on what my schedule looks like for the week, because I work weekends sometimes too. And But if I'm not working, in the morning, at 9 a.m. I go train BJJ, right? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I come home after that. Usually I train 2 hours. Come home and I'll eat, right? Right after that, right after I come home. And then I'm gonna look at charts and positions and then post some ideas. I don't like to look at too many charts and what the market is doing in the first 30 to 45 minutes anyway. That's really, day traders and a lot of, are love that time. I don't. I feel like it's too emotional and there's too many whipsaws and people jockeying for positions, and you never know what the market is really going to do during that, up till maybe 10, 15, 10:30. So I'm more than happy to go and train and do something good for my body, and then, and start looking at the markets, between 11:30 and 12. And when I get into my trading style, you'll see how that absolutely fits with everything. So that's what I do. And I'll start looking at some charts in Twitter, and I'm a little bit more involved. You'll see me post more on days that I'm off or not working. Um, and in days that I am working, I'll peek at my holdings throughout the day. I don't get any real breaks. I do take about 10 or 15 minutes for lunch and dinner. But I don't make this trading decisions at work. I find that those tend to be poor decisions. And when I say I don't. It's very rare. Once in a blue moon, I'll do something, and um and I'll usually live to regret it, but not always. Anyway, I try not to. It's incomplete information. There's a lot of noise. You're maybe trading off of headlines instead of price action. So there's a lot going on there. Um, Now, if I have a preset plan and I'm able to execute it in a minute or two because something hit, that's a different story. Now, in general, I'm not looking at my I'm not making trade decisions at work. I think that's a recipe for disaster. But I do look at my holdings a little bit, and if I have the 10 or 15 minutes when I eat, I'll probably look at Twitter a little bit just to see what people are where the buzz is. Um, but that's about it. Now, when I get home from work or in the evenings after the market closes, um, I like to post my two scans, right? I always run two scans, the my favorite scan and the jet fuel scan. So in the my favorite scan, that's where I build my watch list from. So I'm keeping a running tally as I go of things that are showing up on the scan. And I'm taking special notice of things that are new to the scan, right? So, my scan has amazing names, but you know what? There's a lot of repeats, right? Like certain things that they're just trending higher, higher, higher. They're going to be on the scan for weeks and months at a time potentially because they're just big time winners. But if something new is showing up on the scan, that's really catching my attention, and I'll look at that position or that idea a little bit deeper. Jet fuel scan is a short squeeze scan, and it's something new that I came up with, and I'm really excited for it. So far, it's working out pretty good. We'll see if it continues. But that's what I'm doing in the evenings. I'll also probably look at again, see what some other people are posting, respond to people, and and do a quick chart review. Right, I like to see how did things end the day. Um, so that's what I do in the evening. Roughly, I would say 45 minutes or so in the evening to do all that. So the reason why I'm able to trade like this is because I break up a lot of my tasks into smaller, manageable tasks, right? So, if you try to do it all in one shot, chances are you're not going to be able to be very successful. But I do my scanning. It takes me just a few minutes, but every night, right? 5 days a week. I do my state of the market video for the health of the market just one time, Saturday morning. I do a full watch list look over, on Sundays for the most part. During the week, I'm just looking at individual names that interest me. So I have all these compartmentalized pieces, right? Little bite-sized pieces that I'm doing to work to fit into my life. If I was always on the computer, watching charts, I would be neglecting other pieces. So let's keep going, and I'm going to tell you about how I do my trades, right? So I use limit orders. So, in pre-market or on the weekends, whatever, if I see something I want, when I make my plan, a lot of times, you know, um, I'll put in a limit order. And usually, if I have to work that day, I'll put it in before I go to work. So I'm kind of like, I'm doing my review of my positions and my plan for the week. And if I plan on starting a position in something, um, probably Monday morning, I will put in a limit order for that where I think I would want to own it. Sometimes it executes, sometimes it doesn't, right? Then I have to, that makes it a little bit more difficult. But if I can't be in front of a chart, all I can go by is the information that I know as true when I put the order in. So those will execute automatically, right? No matter where I'm at. If I'm at jujitsu, if I'm at work, doesn't matter. Those limit orders will kick in, and I will buy that stock for better or for worse. Now, what I do after that is I like to put in sell orders pretty much right after I buy. So I sell in thirds, right? So the first third is at 8%, the second third is at 20%, and the last third is my let it ride shares. I'm going to go over these real quick and tell you why I do it. Also, my max position size is 15% of my total account. And I do that because if I go much bigger than that and something goes against me, I could hurt myself financially. And I don't want that to happen. So keeping my max position size to 15% um, decreases the chance of a catastrophic failure of a position and causing me to really cause some damage to my portfolio. Now, um, where is it? There you go. So the reason why I sell in thirds the way I do is based on this. And so this is just kind of a visualization of my risk management. And what this tells me is that my goal is to minimize big losses and maximize big gains. So by selling 1/3 at 8%, that's the quick win. It also gives you a bit of a dopamine fix, right? You feel good. You sold something, made a profit on it. And that's the 8%. It prevents this big loss, right? It almost will guarantee me to be in one of these three, and most likely one of these two. My second sell guarantees me that takes me out of this yellow area. And now I'm definitely going to be either in a small gain or potentially a very big gain. And then my let it ride shares hopefully will help me stay in this darker green big gain area. So that is how I look at risk management. Avoid this area because this is death, right? I'm trading death right here. This is acceptable, even though, I never like losses, but we accept losses, right? Because they're part of the game. And then this is goal right here, right? Okay. So I sell one third at 8%, and then the second third at 20%, and the last is let it ride. Now, where I put my stops, I use two closes below the 23-day EMA or a significant level. Just looking at this chart of the Qs in general. So obviously right here, there's my 23-day EMA, two closes below it. And if I would happen to be trading Qs, that would be my out. Now, if we were, let's say we were back here or something, I may put my stop below a significant level, which could be, 297 or whatever. And so I may not hit those two closes, but that's a significant enough level for me to say, okay, my thesis is wrong and I'm going to sell it and move on and take a small loss. So that's how I do my stops. So it's a moving average that I use, 23-day EMA, two closes, because sometimes one close, is a shakeout and then it pops right back. So two closes below. And here's a good example right here, right? So it came down below, one close, popped up, resets, came back below, one close, pop back up, and we got a bunch more out of it. So that's what I am looking at there. Now my last one third, my let it ride shares, I then switched to the 65-day EMA. I'm giving it a ton of space. It's now a very small position for me, right? Usually, between 5 and 8% of my portfolio, and so I'm going to give it more room, right? I mean, we're already in a very nice uptrend. It's probably close to my break even spot at this point, the 65-day EMA, if I bought right, and so then I'm just going to let it ride and see where it goes. And I'm hoping, the goal is that the trend is long and we get into this big gain and I could be in a position, for months or longer, right? With that last bit. So I like selling also those first one third shares because it decreases my chance for FOMO, meaning fear of missing out, right? So I make my quick gain, I feel good, and now I also have money that I can go and buy the next greatest stock out there, right? Whatever I think is setting up again. And 'cause sometimes before I did this, I would feel like I was stuck in a stock and I'm seeing all these other stocks, moving higher. And maybe mine is going through another consolidation phase or something of that nature. And so now I feel like I'm missing out, and then I may sell too quick. And as soon as I sell, that's when the stock I happen to be in starts to move higher again. So this way I can still participate and still move my money, and I can still move my money around and not have that FOMO and make rash emotional decisions. That was actually really, really important for me and my own psychology of how I trade. Um, Yeah, so that's how I sell. I don't put stop orders in, by the way. Um, I too often you get a shakeout and then something reverses, in intraday shakeout, and something reverses, and now you are out of the stock and it's moving higher and you have a small loss or medium-sized loss. So I don't put that in there. I do try to buy right and buy in the right zip code. Um, I think that's really important. You have to buy in the right zip code, meaning if something's showing relative strength, that's what you should be buying, right? You shouldn't be buying, if, you should be buying alternative energy stocks like solar and EV vehicles and things of that nature, and not, energy stocks if solar and alternative energy type stocks are going higher, right? And fossil fuels type plays are not. So you got to be in the right zip code. What else? I'm going to hard stops. And by the way, that is a risk, right? There's a risk by not putting in a hard stop, but from my experience, I think there's a greater risk of missing out on a big winner. The market's good right now. That may change in the future, and I may put in hard stops in the future. But this is a really good bull market, and so we're at all-time highs right now. So I think the risk is actually by putting stops in. But I'm also not playing in penny stocks. Different story, right? You got to be in the right zip code. Um, and I think buying, other things I've changed to do, only buy stocks in uptrends, right? I'm not buying anything in a downtrend. I think there's a risk management piece to that. Um, I only buy stocks that are showing growth, right? I think there's a risk management piece to that. I think that all helps mitigate risk. So that's all pretty important. That's kind of how I do it. So what else do I got going on here? All right, um, so in all, that's the way my week looks like, and I'm able to handle, my family life, my working life, my extracurriculars, and also trading stocks. Um, so just to kind of sum it all up, I use the weekends to figure out the health of the market, and I make my game plan. I execute the predetermined plan during the week with automatic trades that I have already entered. I think that's also really important to automate the pieces you can. Um, I build my watch list using my scans, and on the weekends I review them, and and I make a trading plan while the market is closed. It takes a lot of the emotion out, and again, that's one of the hardest things to overcome. Making decisions when the market is closed, and you can make a more rational decision at that point. Uh, And all in all, just when I was going through everything, roughly 360 minutes. Even if we add in another, 60 minutes of, who knows time, that's roughly 7 hours a week. And maybe I'm on Twitter a little bit more than that. So even if I spend 10 hours a week, it's still well within the acceptable range to be able to balance everything out together. So that's just kind of how this video came about. I got a bunch of questions really on what I do, what my week looks like, and so on and so forth. So just wanted to answer them and let you guys know what it looks like. I'm a really honest guy. That is what I do. I am the guy next door. I'm nothing special. I'm not trained in any way. This is all self-taught. Last word, I want to talk about FinTwit a little bit. First off, I believe that most of the disagreements on FinTwit could be avoided if we all realize that we're all in different time frames. I'm a hybrid trader, right? So I have a short-term swing, right? It could even be a day trade sometimes if things are really moving. A medium-term swing and a long-term position trader all together. So I actually have three different time frames. Some people are day traders and they're looking at something totally different than I am. So I think that most disagreements could be avoided if people talk about, hey, their time frame. I also believe that FinTwit people should only follow other people that provide value. There's a lot of noise on FinTwit, a lot of people that claim things on FinTwit, and most people there's some amazing value to be had, and I follow. I couldn't be successful where I'm at today without the people I follow, but also, I had to drop a lot of people that just were creating noise and you know not really adding to my feed. So I follow about 50 people. I would say probably about 40 of them are in the financial realm or so, and that's not bad. That's pretty good for me. I think also the people that you follow should have a similar trading style. If you're a growth stock trader, don't follow a value investor, right? They're not going to help you. They may be a great person, but they're not going to help you. And so I think similar trading styles and similar time frames, I think that will also improve your trading. At least it has for me. Also, there's a lot of snakes on Twitter that are looking to sell you something, right? don't believe everything you hear. If somebody tells you how they have 100% win rate, don't believe that. Great traders are usually 50 to 60%, right? So don't believe anybody tells you. I mean, there's a lot of snakes out there. Just be really, really careful. There's a lot of frauds, a lot of fakes, a lot of people trying to sell you something. They're not really making money off their trading account. They're making the money off their subscription account. Um, but with all that being said, it's the place to go for an amazing education. I mean, people that share their knowledge freely and openly. And if you have questions, you can always ask them. They're almost always very responsive. Pretty amazing place. I try to share whatever knowledge I have with people as I go along. Just it's giving back to what I've taken, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Uh, so so that's that. I hope this video kind of helped somebody out there. Again, it's what works for me. You have to make it work for you, tailor it. It's kind of like my scans, right? I present my favorite scan, and there's some people that will extend that to a 5-year period or start changing different parameters. I think that's amazing. Make it your own, right? But I think if you start to break down your week into small bite-sized chunks and you schedule yourself to do those pieces, then your consistency and hopefully your profitability will increase. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. Good luck out there. And again, take care.